Hello everyone and welcome back to Turkish series Stars, the place where every sigh, rumor, and dazzling moment from the world of Turkish celebrity love stories comes to life. I can hardly sit still today because what we're about to unravel has the entire fandom whispering, gasping, and hitting refresh on their feeds. If your heart beats faster at the slightest hint of romance, settle in. This is one of those nights where the gossip feels like a scene ripped straight from the most addictive primetime drama, only this time the script is real, the emotions are raw, and the names at the center of it all are the ones you've been rooting for. Before we dive headfirst into the swirl of revelations, make sure you're subscribed and your notifications are on. You won't want to miss what's coming next. We have a story that begins in the hush of privacy and ends with the kind of gesture that turns whispers into cheers, an elegant, heartfelt proposal that has stirred the entire Turkish entertainment world. Yes, the talk that's been vibrating across timelines is that Barış Baktaş has asked for the hand of Yağmur Yüksel, and the way it happened is so steeped in tradition and tenderness that even the most skeptical among us are smiling. For months, admiration for their bond bloomed quietly. In a landscape where every glance can be magnified and every step scrutinized, they chose silence over spectacle. There were rare appearances, a few knowing looks, and that soft electricity that seemed to hum whenever they shared a frame. Fans read between the lines and spun their hopes into theories. Still, Barış and Yağmur protected their circle, letting their story gather depth away from the glare, until now. According to sources close to both families and murmurs that found their way from private living rooms to public feeds, the big moment unfolded with elegance and respect. No grand hotel lounges or staged flashbulb dramas. This was about home, about roots, about the kind of love that knocks softly and waits to be welcomed in. The intimate gathering was held where family memories breathe through the walls, where every smile has a history and every embrace carries a promise. There were flowers, there was warmth, and there was that unmistakable hush that settles just before a heart chooses its forever. If you know anything about how love is celebrated here, you'll know the tradition they honored: İstem, the cherished ceremony where the groom, supported by his elders, visits the bride's family to respectfully ask for permission. It's not just a ritual. It's a bridge between generations, a way of saying that marriage is not merely two people but two homes, two lineages, two sets of dreams interweaving. By choosing İstem, Barış didn't just propose, he placed his feelings in the hands of family, giving weight to every word and meaning to every glance. Picture it for a moment. The evening air, modest yet glowing. A table thoughtfully set, the clinking of tea glasses, and the kind of laughter that treads gently because everyone senses something beautiful is about to happen. Anyone who has lived through that moment knows the mix of nervous smiles and teary eyes, the way a mother straightens a sleeve instinctively, the way a father lifts his chin just a little, proud and moved all at once. In that space, tradition becomes poetry, and love speaks the language of respect. When the question was asked and the blessing given, joy blossomed like a chorus. You can almost hear the voices overlapping: congratulations, prayers, affectionate teasing, memories tumbling out of old photo albums, and you can feel the relief and happiness settling like a soft shawl over the entire room. For fans who have traced the delicate outline of this love story from the shadows, every whisper turning to confirmation felt like a wish coming true. What makes this moment so magnetic is how true it feels to who they are. Barış, with that grounded charm and a smile that never rushes, has always come across as someone who values sincerity over spectacle. Yağmur, luminous and composed, carries herself with a grace that never screams but always shines. Together, they give off a sense of balance, the kind that makes you believe in quiet strength, in shared patience, in promises that don't need to be shouted to be real. Social media, of course, did what it does best. At first it was all coded hints and cautious glances, a relative's cryptic caption, a carefully cropped photo, a story that disappeared before anyone could fully grasp it. Then, as more voices nodded in unison, as relatives and friends let slip smiles that told 1,000 tales, the rumor matured into something sweeter: confirmation without spectacle, celebration without chaos. The comment sections became a flood of well wishes, heartened fans writing as if to old friends they've watched grow. People asked, how did they keep this so beautifully private for so long? The answer, I think, lies in the way they carry their success. Careers thriving, schedules busy, expectations high, yet there is a stubborn simplicity at the center of their choices. They chose dinners with family over staged photo ops, conversations in quiet corners over headline-chasing stunts. And in doing so, they protected not just themselves, but the integrity of the feeling that brought them here. It's not just a proposal, it's a pivot. Engagement is the moment when a love story steals itself into commitment. It's the whisper before the promise before the vow. For Barış and Yağmur, it signals a new chapter where personal happiness and public curiosity intersect, and the challenge becomes keeping the flame of intimacy bright in a room full of onlookers. And if their journey so far tells us anything, it's that they will walk that line with grace. Of course, with joy comes the fun we all indulge in, speculation. Will the ceremony be set in a garden filled with night-blooming flowers, or in a historic venue with high ceilings and old-world charm? Will it be modest and intimate, or will they surprise everyone with a grand celebration that gathers the entire industry under one roof? Will there be a kina gecesi that fills the night with music and color, henna deep as burgundy and laughter that ripples like silk? The attire alone has fans dreaming. What will she wear when she says yes in front of the world, the lace catching light like dew, the veil a whisper of morning? Will he choose a classic suit or something that nods subtly to tradition? Who will design, who will photograph, who will sing the first love song of their married life? These are the questions that keep the timelines alive, not because we demand every detail, but because imagining their joy feels like a celebration in itself. And yet, beneath the sparkle, there is a steadiness. The choice to begin with esteem is not performative, it's a declaration of values. It says, this union is a conversation between families, a continuation of stories told in kitchens and courtyards, a respect for elders and a trust in customs that cradle love rather than confine it. In a world where everything rushes forward, they pressed pause and listened to the rhythm of something older and wiser. If you've followed their career arcs, you know there's something wonderfully symphonic about how they work. He brings sincerity to every step, a kind of unforced authenticity that audiences hold close. She carries elegance like second nature, illuminating every room without dimming anyone else. Together, they don't compete for the spotlight. They share it, and somehow that light feels warmer. The engagement also invites a question with a reassuring answer: what happens to their careers now? The honest truth is that love often becomes a refuge that replenishes ambition. Far from distracting, it refines. Fans aren't just excited about the rings and roses, they're eager to see how this glow will pour into future roles, collaborations, and projects. The gaze of the audience can be heavy, but when handled with care, it becomes an embrace that steadies you. There's a sweetness to imagining the exact instant when words became a promise. Maybe his voice trembled, just enough to betray the depth of feeling. Maybe her eyes shone with a relief that only comes when you realize you don't have to carry your dreams alone anymore. A touch on the hand, a breath held and released, a yes that sounded like a door opening. These are the details we may never fully know, and perhaps that's for the best. Some scenes are meant to live quietly in the hearts of those who lived them. Still, some moments are universal. The look exchanged across a room crowded with relatives who have turned into soft silhouettes. The little laugh that escapes when someone tries to lighten the emotion with a joke that lands just right. The way a ring finds its place, as if the finger was waiting all along. These are echoes we all recognize, and they tie us, fans and stars alike, into the same human story. Think of the parents, the siblings, the elders whose blessings carry weight like gold. Their pride, their happy tears, the way they'll retell this night for years, adding new glints of memory each time. Love expands in these circles. It is more than two people when it takes root in a family. It becomes tradition renewed, hope passed down, a promise that extends beyond a single lifetime. And let's not forget how hard-won this moment is in a career where every dawn brings another demand. It takes intention to carve out a private space. It takes courage to ask with humility and to accept with gratitude. Fame can make even simple gestures feel staged, but when the core is sincere, you can sense it from a distance. The resonance of this news, the way it lifted moods, softened hearts, tells you everything you need to know. As for what's next, your guesses are as delightful as they are varied. A spring ceremony bathed in sunlight? An autumn celebration wrapped in warmth and amber? Will they slip away for a quiet getaway before the big day, or lean into the exhilaration of sharing every milestone with their admirers? Whichever door they choose, they've already made the most important decision, to walk forward together. And yes, let's talk about that fan devotion. The messages pouring in have felt like a living chorus. People recounting how they discovered his work, how her presence became a comfort after long days, how the thought of their happiness makes the world feel a little kinder. It's not just celebrity worship. There is empathy here, a sense of witnessing two people navigate the stormy lights of attention and still choose small, meaningful moments. If you listen closely, the subtext of this announcement is wisdom. It's a reminder that silence can be a strategy, that privacy can be a love language. It's a testament to the power of rituals that endure, even as fashions change and trends evaporate. It says family matters, that permission matters, that the old ways still have room in modern hearts. For many, that may be the most inspiring part of all. So here we are, at the tip of a story that's about to grow branches. Events, fittings, decisions, songs, speeches, and that tender chaos that accompanies every wedding journey. There will be slips and surprises, and we will be here to tell you all about them, as always, with care and excitement. But for tonight, it's enough to hold on to this image, two people, steady and smiling, surrounded by the warmth of those who raised them, promising the future a home. To Barış, Baktaş and Yağmur, Yüksel, congratulations from every corner of this devoted fandom. May the glow of this engagement carry you through late nights and early calls, through scripts and stages and stolen moments in cars between meetings. May you keep for yourselves the quiet things, and share with us just enough to let us celebrate you without crowding your joy. As for you, our beloved audience, tell us what you felt when you first heard. Were you one of the early believers, catching hints in the tiniest gestures? Or did this land like a surprise gift at the end of a long week? What kind of ceremony do you envision for them? We're all ears, and we read every word you send our way. If this story made your heart lighter, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars, spread the love by sharing this with a friend who thrives on glittering news, and keep that bell on because the road to the big day is paved with moments you won't want to miss. From the first whisper to the loudest cheer, we'll walk it with you. For now, let the night hold this secret turn celebration a little longer. Let the family savor the afterglow. Let the couple catch their breath and smile at each other in that new way people do when the future has a name. And let us, as a community, keep the joy alive without stealing the quiet that made it possible. This is the kind of story that reminds us why we watch, why we care, why we lean in every time that familiar music swells at the end of an episode. Because somewhere beyond the scripts and sets, real hearts are finding each other. Tonight, two of those hearts made a promise, and we were lucky enough to hear it echo. Stay close, keep your hopes bright, and get ready, this fairy tale has only just turned the page.